Alright, y'all. Time to do a video. I wanted to review All Out. I feel like that I hyped this show up quite a bit this morning with Steven. I feel like that we went over and previewed this show almost for an hour and a half. So if you haven't caught that live stream, you might want to go back. I was right on a lot of things. But anyways, check it out. It's worth a listen. And I'm going to be honest with you. I said that AEW always delivers when it comes to their pay-per-views, no matter what the card's looking like. And I'm eating a crap sandwich tonight because it just wasn't the case. They did not deliver the show that I expected them to, that they normally deliver. I'm disappointed, but at the same sense, I'm not sure how much of it was their fault. I'm not sure how much of it was um, just bad circumstances, bad luck, uh, just what the vibe was. But it just fell flat tonight. It just didn't feel um, like everything that you wanted to be hit on, everything that you wanted to deliver, for whatever reason, it just didn't deliver. Certain things were good. The show wasn't terrible. It just wasn't what we expect from AEW pay per view. So like on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm in the 6.5, 7 range. That's kind of where I feel like it belongs. But let's go over the card. Let's discuss. I might even sound more positive while talking about it. So let's just kind of work through this and see if you guys feel the same way. See if I'm way off. I'd love to hear your feedback. Leave your comments below. And if you agree with me, I appreciate likes on the page. You can share this video. I feel like it's a lot easier for me to make videos now in my life. So I feel like you could be expecting a lot more from me. And I honestly would like to know what you want to see on the channel. I understand you guys want to see Bill. Honestly, me and Bill are probably going to do a video after tonight. But, when we haven't done a video in so long, to do a video of a disappointing AEW pay-per-view just didn't feel like the right thing to do. So anyways, would you guys like me to talk more about the Cowboys, the NFL, fantasy football, movies, TV series that I enjoy, like Cobra Kai? Let me know. Let me know what you guys would like to hear about. But let's jump into All In, or All Out. God, sorry, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning right now while I'm doing this. So let's jump into All Out. The pre-show matches aren't even really worth mentioning. They just were there. What do we have? We had yeah, I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest with you. The end of the day, they weren't very good. They were just there. They were fillers. That's what they were there for. So the pay-per-view kicks off. Weirdly enough, no video package. Didn't like that at all. Like, you can spend all this production money on doing a countdown show and you can't make a video package to open your pay-per-view. Wasn't a fan of that at all. So the pay-per-view basically starts with Britt Baker and Big Swole. This match was not good at all. It was very bad, actually. Just very WWE type horrific. Like, their cinematic matches have been way better than this. Like, this just wasn't even anything. It was just stupid. I think that they're just trying to find a way to get Britt Baker on the card because they're excited that she's getting close to coming back, but they're worried that she couldn't really wrestle right now. So I don't know. I didn't like this at all. AEW needs to stay away from this type of stuff. This honestly looked like it belonged on BTE. You could do this segment on BTE and it would totally look like that would fit and it would still be bad. So yeah, this just had no business on pay-per-view. And then after that, we jumped into the Bucks and Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy match, which I thought was really good. I thought that they worked well together. I love seeing heel Bucks. I loved the fact that Matt super kicked Marco's stunt and then he kind of rubbed his foot in his face, and like we're just starting to see the Bucks more with an edge. They're not fully healed yet, but it's getting that way, and I prefer them that way. I think they've gotten very stale. And even when you go to live events, which I was fortunate enough to go to, see some AEW shows, The Bucks, they're not getting the reactions that Kenny that Cody gets. They're not as over as you would think, being part of the investors of AEW, the AVPs of AEW. So I just think it's time for them to have a change. I think them not getting the belts this whole time has hurt them. I hate the philosophy that the AVPs feel like they cannot win the titles because they don't want to look like that they're using their power or their stroke to get the position for the belts. But at the same point, the whole reason this company was formed was based on these guys. And you damn right we want to see them succeed. So I absolutely don't like the fact that they haven't been champions yet. I hate the fact that Kenny hasn't been the main heavyweight champion yet. But, hopefully that will change soon. But at the end of the day, Bucks win, look strong doing it, and they look like they're heading down a darker path, which we all, I think, will enjoy much better, and I am really looking forward to it. So then after that, it was Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara, and this is a match that I was really looking forward to, mainly because I'm a big fan of Sammy, and Sammy's crazy. He just does crazy things, and tonight was no exception. When I first saw Matt, I was thinking, like, is this going to be a cinematic match? Is that where they're heading? And it wasn't. And when I started to realize it wasn't, they're going up some type of little scaffold thing. And Bill was at the house, right? And I was like, dude, Matt's going to take a bump off that. And he's like, no way. Matt's like 45. There's no reason he should take anything like that. And I'm like, dude, I just think he's crazy and he's going to do it. And then just like, bam, out of nowhere, Sammy just levels him and takes him off the platform. And Matt hits his head right on the concrete. And anybody that watches the UFC or anything like that, Matt was completely knocked out cold. Like, out cold, stiff as a board. And we just knew the match was over at that point. There's just nothing you can do. He's out cold. They try to continue, which is really painful to watch because Matt can't even stand up. He's tripping as soon as he starts to walk. He's really wobbled. And then they called the match. And you knew that they were in a pickle because the stipulation was as if Matt lost, he leaves AEW for good. And that wasn't the plan. So Tony Khan said after the pay-per-view that Matt got medical clearance to go back into that match. I call BS. Like, regardless if he did get medical clearance, I believe that part. That doctor is full of crap if he thinks that Matt should have been able to go back out there. Like, Matt was knocked out unconscious. Bad. And then they go up on to the entrance ramp area, and Sammy starts to climb the tier to the I don't know what you call it, but anyways, he starts climbing way up high on the platform, and Matt is struggling just to go and follow him, that Sammy literally has to grab his arms and like help him up just to knock him down. There was no build up to the knockdown. It was just like one punch, Sammy takes a bump. And it was a disaster. It just turned out to be really, really unfortunate. A match that I was really looking forward to. A match that I really think was going to help Sammy because I thought he was going to do some crazy stuff in that match. Which they did do a crazy spot. And fortunately it cost Matt big time. And it just left you with this really like, feeling, right? So then you're heading into the Casino Battle Royal. I was hoping that Darby was going to win. Lance Archer ends up becoming victorious. And what sucks is their surprise entrance was Matt Sydal. And right off the bat, he botches the shooting star press so bad. And it was like, like, it took the air out of the match. Like, at that point, you just kind of just lost faith in Matt Sydal. And then Darby gets eliminated in a brutal spot, by the way. They put him in a bag full of freaking thumbtacks and then toss him on the outside. And then I was kind of hoping Brian Cage would win, and that didn't happen, and then it came down, and Lance Archer won, and it was down to like Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston, and yeah, I we've seen Lance Archer too with Moxley, so that wasn't too exciting to think that if Moxley won, he was going to face Lance Archer again. It just fell flat. Again, that's what this pay per view felt like. Match after match, it just flat. Like it just wasn't what we are normally accustomed to in AEW. And then after that, God, what did we have? I have to think here. Sorry, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just thinking off the top of the dome here. So if I miss a match or anything, my bad. I guess what Thunder Rosa and Shida. Thunder Rosa and Shida. I thought this was a good match. I thought Thunder Rosa is very impressive. Honestly, AEW needs way more females like that. And I get really sick and tired of like all these social justice warriors calling on Tony to be like, we need to see more women. We need to see more women. No, you don't, because that roster, that division sucks. It is not very good. They need way more talent. And the fact that they haven't even considered Tessa or tried calling Tessa or whatever the case may be is totally insane. Like, to me, I'm giving Tessa Jericho money if I have to, because I need Tessa in my company. Tessa legitimately is easily the best talent I will have, and she makes my whole division look completely different if I have her in my company. And then if I have Shida, and then let's say Britt Baker comes back, and if we can get more guest appearances from Thunder Rosa, like, then we have something. You know, what they have right now is not very strong at all. And unfortunately, they've been hit by the injury bug with Chris Statlander and Britt Baker and things like that. But even then, I mean, Big Swole is not impressive, and they've been pushing her to the moon, and it still doesn't work. They're just really lacking talent. The Japan girls that they had, like Riho, like, she was good, but they can't book them consistently to come because they don't live in America. So it's a mess, and they really need a strong talent like Tessa. And the fact that she's a free agent and they could sign her, like, honestly, blank checkbook, do it. You know, I know that there's issues about her race issues where she maybe have used the N-word in the past or something like that. But Big Swole said that she would love to have her there. I know she's close with Cedric Alexander, who's her husband. You know, she's had people at her wedding that have been, you know, black. That she married Daga, who's a Mexican. And she's young, dude. Like, she's what, 24, 25? She can make mistakes and totally move on from those mistakes. I don't think we need to hold her hostage for something she did a long time ago. It's time to move on, and if you need to improve your roster, you call Tessa immediately, which you desperately need to do. Off my rant, at the end of the day, Shida wins. Good match with her and Thunder Rosa. Don't know what's next for Shida. There is no credible contender or anything like that, so we'll see. And then we had the 4-on-4 with the Dark Order, and Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. This match was a good match. It really felt like more like a Dynamite type match, but it was a solid match. I felt like Matt Cardona looked like $1 million. Like, he walked out there, he had like this dope robe outfit that he had on. His boots were really cool, multicolored boots. He just looked like he really took it seriously. He knew his pay-per-view. He knew it was an opportunity, and I felt like he did a good job. I can't stand Jim Ross right now. Like, he was crapping on Matt Cardona, like, the moment he gets in the ring, and he's just like, well, there's something about him that he's just missing. How is that putting a guy over that's getting a new opportunity? It's almost like Jim Ross works for the WWE still, and he's just stuck having to call these matches because he just has no interest in it. Like, when Lance Archer won, he called him Lance Hoyt. Like, he just doesn't pay attention. He doesn't know the roster. He mails it in most of the night. And then, like, he only comes out for pay-per-view because, God forbid, JR call a pre-show. He's just way too good for that. I would love for them to call Mauro Ranallo and move on from Jim Ross. But anyways, back to the match. I thought the match was pretty good. The finish was a little interesting with Colt Cabana not using Brody Lee's move. He decided to do his own. He missed. He lost the match. I thought that Brody Lee was going to absolutely murder him, and he kind of let it go, which I was surprised by. And again, we have another flat moment, another moment where you're just kind of like, huh? Like, really? Like, that was the issue all night. It just felt flat. The finishes felt weird. Like, it just didn't satisfy you as a wrestling fan, as an AEW fan, as someone that's invested into the stories. Like, you just weren't fulfilled the way that you wanted to be. And then going into the tag match, this is the match that everyone was talking about. This is the match that everybody wanted to see. It was a good match, and I honestly think if the crowd was like, you could hear them and you actually saw a full house, this match would have been damn good and the crowd would have really got behind it. But there were so many moments where there were false finishes and it's just dead air. You hear nothing, and it's just a weird sound. It's just flat. It is flat, and it doesn't matter how long they go and what moves they're doing. There's just no energy. And I really feel like that, Kenny and Hangman have been an incredible tag team. And what's weird is most of their run, they've teased tension, but yet they've always found a way to win. But really, I mean, previewing this match, we knew that FTR were going to become the new champions. Like, there was just no doubt in my mind. And FTR pulled it off. I thought they had a good showing. I think they've had a good showing since debuting in AEW. I think that they're worthy champions. I have no problem with them being champions. It pretty much sets up the Bucks and FTR, which I really don't want to see in an empty arena. But, we are here where we are. Maybe after November we'll start to see things change, right after November 3rd, actually. But anyways, on to the aftermath of this match. Kenny walks off, pissed off, storms off, basically. It looks like him and Adam Page are done. And then they follow Kenny, and he walks right by the Bucks, and then the Bucks follow him, and he was talking about, like, there's no turning back. You get in this car and you're with me. And he said something about being the cleaner. I didn't pick up on it. But he said something like, we need a cleaner. I'm going to be the cleaner. Or there needs to be a cleaner. Something like that. I don't remember what it was. But it kind of stood out to me. And then it sounded like the Bucks needed to think about it. And Kenny was okay with that. And he drove off. But we're hitting at an Evil Elite here. And I like it. It really brought me back to New Japan. Seeing Kenny leave and then the Bucks follow. Like, Kenny the leader and the Bucks are the sideshow. And, like, they were bad guys, and it just brought me back to that New Japan time. Evil Elite is, to me, a great thing for AEW. The Bucks have gotten extremely stale, and you putting Kenny and the Bucks together, and I think this can get Kenny to the championship title that we all want him to have. And I just think it's best for everybody. And then on top of that, you have to where I think Cody is coming back to possibly form the Four Horsemen with FTR, with Adam Page. And I think another great thing about that is we're going to start to find out that really Adam Page has been the victim all along, and the Bucks called him a jobber and all that stuff. They're basically jealous of his success, that he has gotten over way more than they thought he ever would, and they've been trying to hold him down, and I think we'll find that out more. And I think also what's interesting is if Cody and Kenny clash with the Elite versus the new Four Horsemen, we now have Cody as a babyface and Kenny as a heel, which is the opposite of what we got last time. So I just like all that dynamic. To me, it's the best thing they have going right now. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes. And then we have the Jericho and Orange Cassidy Mimosa match. I thought that this match was going to be Russo-rific, train wreck, garbage, and it really wasn't. It wasn't that bad. It was really just a wrestling match, and somebody was going to get knocked into a hot tub like of mimosa. And it was a pretty good match. It wasn't that bad. Jericho put over Orange Cassidy, which I was somewhat surprised about. I like the fact that Jericho didn't just kind of dip his toe in the water. He took a complete back bump, huge splash in there. Like, he totally went for it. I just don't know where you go with Orange Cassidy here. Like, what are we doing? Main eventer now? Like, everything that was getting Orange Cassidy over, he no longer does. He's not the sloth character. He's not the guy that's lazy. He's not the guy that's too cool to do anything. Like, he's running out there. He has heavy metal music now. He basically wrestles like a luchador. Like, it's almost like they can't go back to what really got him over. And I don't know if they need to. Like, he might just be a top guy no matter what now. I mean, he was clearly over before the pandemic. Like, people loved him. And it seems like they still do. Like, when his figure was announced, there was a huge buzz. Everybody was really excited about it. I just don't know what his future looks like. And then we have our main event. Our main event was Moxley and MJF. I liked MJF's his attire, his robe, his tights were the MJF themed American new champion type theme that he had been promoting. So it really fit the character that he had been pushing. I really liked that. And then, Moxley's a badass. I thought this match was pretty good. It would have been great with the crowd, a live, full crowd. MJF was busted open. He showed that he could go toe-to-toe with John. He showed that he belonged in there. And really, he fell short because Wardlow made a mistake. I liked the way that they sold that too. Like, MJF's looking for the ring. He's super, excited. He has this evil look like he knows what he's going to do. And then Moxley beats him to it and gives him the paradigm shift. And it was just well done. It was a good storytelling. And I don't know how they're going to handle the fact that Moxley used the paradigm shift to win. The whole point of that contract is he's not allowed to use it. So whether the referee didn't look or not, I still think that's kind of a breach of contract. So I don't know how much I love that. I thought he should have found a way to beat him without it. But overall, that's the show. So I thought the main event was pretty good. I thought the Bucks and Luchasaurus was pretty good. I thought Hangman and Omega versus FTR was pretty good. The segment after was pretty good. I thought Sheeta and Thunder Rosa was pretty good. So this is why I can't just say that this show sucked. I wouldn't go there. I'm just very, 50-50 on it. There were some good things. It wasn't that bad of a show. But this is AEW pay-per-view, man. Every AEW pay-per-view is delivered and delivered tenfold. And this one just didn't do it. And it pisses me off, man. Bill hasn't been watching much wrestling, and I talked him into coming and giving it a shot. And, it did give us something to do on a Saturday night to watch wrestling and, just kick back and enjoy ourselves. But it wasn't the show that I wanted it to be. It did not deliver the way that I wanted it to. And honestly, last year's All Out kind of fell flat too with Jericho and Hangman. So it's something about this show. I don't know if it's just the time of the year that when they do this is they're mid-booking or what, but something about All Out just kind of falls flat. And this definitely fell flat tonight. And I definitely hope in the future that there's more fans allowed, and that especially for pay-per-views, it's almost like you see these protests, you see Trump rallies, you see things, and you see all these people come together for one night, and it's just like, damn it, I wish we could do this for pay-per-view. Just one night. Just just to be able to have a full crowd and to hear that roar and the pop and the excitement and all that stuff, it would just be it would be really amazing to bring that back. So let me know what your thoughts were on All Out. I'm on Twitter. I see a lot of negativity right now. A lot of people weren't feeling the show. Like I said, I think it was definitely hit or miss. But at the end of the day, I still think it's worth watching. I still think AEW is a great product. I'll still be watching Dynamite every week. It's definitely the show that I'm currently watching the most. To me, it's AEW. You follow everything. In WWE, I don't watch Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. I'll find out what's going on Twitter. I'll watch clips, things like that. But that's usually as good as it gets. And then on pay-per-view, I'll usually give it a shot. I don't watch NXT. I never was a big NXT weekly person, but I absolutely will watch TakeOver. I feel like TakeOver is a can't-miss show. It's definitely suffered since the pandemic, but at the same point, like, I still watch it. But right now, to me, all AEW is the number one wrestling show that I watch. Every Wednesday night, I look forward to it, or whenever it's on. So I still recommend it. I still think it's a great product. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're still giving us wrestling during this time, so I appreciate it. I just, this we haven't had a full crowd since like mid-March, and we're now it's September. It's just when, man, like, come on, like, at some point somebody's got to have enough balls to pull this thing off. And I do like the fact that AEW stations out in Florida. Florida is a state that has really not backed down from the pandemic. And so hopefully they're going to keep allowing more fans. And we'll start to get, 30%, 50%. And then that could probably make a big difference. And especially, like, why can't you have fans up front? Like, I'm not talking about right at the ring, but like the whole front camera side, everything is just empty. Put people up front. Even you can socially distance them, but at least put them up front so we have something that we can hear and that we can really get behind. And yeah, so at the end of the day, let me know what your thoughts are on All Out. Like the video if you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Share the video if you can. Let people know that Doug's doing videos again. And then, like I said, let me know about what you want to see in my future, on the future for the channel. I'm probably going to change the name. I doubt I'll be Fight Talk. Or Fight Feed. I'm going to look for something different. And this is going to be my channel. At the end of the day, this is my channel. And I just think that as long as I talk about things that I'm passionate about, and if I'm consistent with this, I can make it work. So just expect to see more from me. I appreciate all the support. There's a lot of people who have told me the reason that they started making videos was because of Bill and I. And some of these people are really successful, man. And the fact that we were their inspiration, that means a lot to me. And I really appreciate all the fans that have stuck by this whole time. I mean, you go back to our videos and it says 10 years ago. 10 years ago, and you're still listening to what I have to say. You still care about my opinion. And if you've been listening on my Twitter or following my Twitter, I've been very political lately, and I hate politics. But it's like with this virus, it's like a saying is they say there's an old saying that if you don't get involved with politics, politics will get involved with you. And in 2020, politics got involved with me and with everyone. And I've really done a lot of research, and I really feel strongly about what I'm saying. And so I know that it annoys a lot of people, and I know that not everybody wants to hear my political views, and I'm sorry about that. I really am. But this is a really important time, and I really feel like what I'm saying or what I'm retweeting or what I'm showing is really important right now. So bear with me. After election time, I'm sure things will really die down. And yeah, so thanks for all the support. and I will catch you guys later.